We've got a whole bunch of Beyblade X news to cover, so stick around for the video because at the end I'm going to tell you how you can get your hands on a free copy of Hasbro's Tide Whale. UK Beyblade X Network. Greetings Bladers, this is the UK BBXN and today we're going to be discussing some of the latest news for Beyblade X, so let's get into it. Starting off, we've got the release of the Hasbro CX exclusives. They've been seen in the wild and online. Plus, we're going to be discussing the controversy surrounding Clock Mirage, as well as the controversy surrounding Hover Wyvern in purple. And finally, we will be talking about the future of rare prize bays. That is all to come in the video, so let's get stuck in. The Hasbro releases of CX line exclusives, as well as some of the later releases such as Foxbrush, have started showing up at places like Smith's and The Entertainer, as well as being online. It does, however, raise questions about the availability of Tide Whale and the Blue Saw Phoenix, because these are bays that were released later. Why aren't we getting them? It seems a bit weird, but you know, I guess we can just kind of keep hoping and praying. I even got in contact with some of the distributors for Hasbro UK, and they've said they've got no intention of supplying Tide Whale or the Blue Saw Phoenix anytime in 2025. So it's not looking good for that one, but we'll just have to sit and wait. And finally, we're discussing the fact that Antler Stag may well actually be a little bit heavier than Cerberus Flame, which is what it was based on. It's pretty interesting to hear that. Obviously, you're taking a bit of an L by not getting the parts that come in the Cerberus Flame random boosters, but in terms of availability and the fact that it's a bit heavier, that's all good in my book. But we're going to move on to our next topic now, and that is that Clock Mirage has been revealed. We knew we were getting some kind of homage to Twisted Tempo, and now it turns out that it's coming out in this triple booster pack, and it's a little bit of an unusual design to say the least. I know that a lot of fans are disappointed and think this is a bit of a downgrade. However, just consider the fact that they may well make another Clock version of this blade that ends up being way better, way closer to the original, so we're just going to have to wait and see. And in terms of design, I'm going to talk about it a little bit in a second, but yeah, we just got to wait and see. I think there is a lot of catastrophizing that goes on in the Beyblade X community. Something comes out, it looks weird and wacky, and people immediately write it off because it's not going to be the next meta, you know, tournament winning blade, and not everything needs to be that, in my opinion. Sometimes, so long as it's fun, that's all I care about. But like I said, we're going to discuss the shape in a little bit, and we're going to discuss the fact that this is going to be on 965 ball. Now 965 is the interesting piece out of this. It's a new ratchet, and it's cool to have, you know, some variation and whatnot. However, I have heard rumors that all three of these bays are going to come with the 965 ball combo, and the only difference is going to be the colours and what you get for all of them. Now, in terms of the 965 ratchet, there is a reason why it comes with that, and we're going to discuss this controversy right now. As you can see from the side profile of this bay, it looks wild, and not only does it have a very bizarre shape, the shape of it means that only simple ratchets, so that's your 455s or the new 965s that have come out, M85, stuff like that, they can only take those kind of ratchets. It can't take any of the normal ones that are out at the moment that have the two pieces in them. So that is a very interesting choice. The reason why I'm not immediately writing this off though is, what if the reason why they've done this is because the blade's actually really good, and when they were testing this out, they knew they wanted to do the Twisted Tempo homage. What if they made this and are like, this is another wizard rod, we can't have this be out there because it, you know, it's being touted as a stamina blade. So I'm wondering if maybe they were like, well, what if we kind of add a little bit of a nerve to it? It's an interesting design, and that way we're not treading on Wizard Rod's toes, but we're still keeping this blade somewhat kind of like usable and not destroying everything. So it's somewhere in the middle. That's what I'm hoping. It might be cope. It may well be cope, and I might end up being really wrong about this. So I've got about a 50-50 track record of being right and wrong on these sort of things, but we shall see in the end. But that's not the end of the controversy, because Hover Wyvern in purple has been revealed, and not only that, we've got the combo now. So, 280 gear needle, it's an interesting choice, but I guess, you know, it doesn't really matter, you can customize it. However, they've also released a purple coated Hover Wyvern, which is very, very tasty looking. And I'm a massive fan of Hover Wyvern, so I would absolutely love to get this. However, this is where the other part of the controversy comes into it, because we're not going to be able to just buy this blade. We're also not going to be able to win it off of the app. No, it is part of a random lottery. Yeah, that's right. We've got to go and buy tickets through the DMM lottery. It's a prize A bay. If you don't know what that is, don't worry. It's just basically a lottery that you can get prizes from. They do it for all kinds of stuff. I don't know that much about it. I don't even know if people outside of Japan can enter. If you do know, please let me know down in the comments, because I'd be really interested. At least I just want to give it a go. I know I probably won't win because I'm not very lucky, but I would absolutely love to get my hands on this purple Hover Wyvern because it is beautiful. And that purple launcher as well, very tasty. So yeah, I really hope they can find some way of bringing this out eventually, some way down the line, even if it's in an expensive stadium set. I don't mind, please. And talking of expensive stadium sets, the Infinity Stadium, which is coming out next month, has been revealed to basically have the same dimensions as the wide stadium. If you don't know what that is the 3-player stadium they released a little while ago and will be released by Hasbro in the West later this year. So that is quite interesting, and it's also going to be a way of getting your hands on not only Tackle Goat, but the long coveted red Cobalt Drake. Just Cobalt Drake in general. It used to be a prize bay. The fact that we can now just outright buy it, that's very handy for collectors that don't like to gamble, such as myself. And it also poses this kind of other implication.
Because of the implication.
This implies that we might also get other prize bays further on down the line coming out in stadium sets or other more expensive ways they can upsell us on them. I'm not even fussed about this, to be honest with you. I would happily pay extra to get my hands on an Aero Pegasus if I knew I could get it, as opposed to having to pay someone who's scalping, or maybe I'll be selling me a fake one, or having to win it in the app and then pay someone to ship it. And you know, there's so many steps and hassle. The fact that you can just go and now buy one of these previously hard to get bays in a set is fantastic in my opinion, and it opens the doors up for Takara Tomy to do this with other ones in the future. So people who don't want to spend ludicrous amounts of stuff without getting anything in return, you know, buying something for £100 and you get 2 bays in a stadium that's quite big, it is a bit expensive, but that's reasonable. More reasonable than spending like £170 on an Aero Pegasus, and that's 1 bay, and the instant you use it, that's chipped. So yeah, and if it cracks, you've got to go through it all again. I'm glad that they've opened the doors for stuff like this. However, we are going to be talking about another thing now, which I know that a lot of you out there will definitely want to hear. If you're a UK blader and you haven't checked out the Gestorino.com shop yet, you definitely should. They've got a whole bunch of new releases and pre-orders there, and you can also use my code UKBBXN to save yourself 10%. Or, if you spend £75 or more, you can get a copy of Hasbro's Tide Whale 580 Elevate absolutely free by using the code TIDEWHALE. All you got to do is get to checkout, put it in the top left hand corner, and you will be golden. And you're also supporting a small independent business. I do this all by myself, making the videos and testing battles and doing combos, and I'd love to be able to continue doing that and providing nice deals for the UK blading community as well. And if you're an international community person who has not had a chance to grab themselves a Tide Whale, this deal is also available to you. All you've got to do is send us an email. Head on over to Gestorino.com and you will find our email at the bottom of the website. Alternatively, I'll just tell you right now, it's info@Gestorino.com. But yeah, send us an email. I will give you a bespoke delivery price, just because it costs a bit more to ship it internationally, but I'm happy to extend that to you. If you're in America, or if you're in one of the countries that have had Tide Whale for ages, this deal is not for you. I'm sorry, you've had your chance, you've got plenty of places to get it. This deal is for people that are really struggling and just want to help out the community and put something else there. So make sure to head on over to Gestorino.com and use code TIDEWHALE if you're spending £75 or more, because you will get a free copy of Hasbro's Tide Whale. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.